Coming up in the morning edition, the deal sealed with the Grand Lucayan Managers Union, Health Minister comments on the Bimini murder, and we have a sit-down lined up with the country's youngest ambassador. Happy Hump Day. It's the middle of the week with Friday in sight. Welcome to the morning edition. I'm Jimenita Swain in studio with you this morning. Our chief meteorologist Basil Dean is with us to give you a glimpse of the weekend weather. Good morning, Basil.
Good morning, Jimenita. We're going to get you started with our ZNS Tower camera. It's showing gray skies with some light rains looking around, particularly around the Palmdale area. And as we go to our satellite picture, we still have that mid to upper level trough. It's over the southeast Bahamas, but it's starting to work its way back towards the north, and that will increase our rain chance going into tomorrow with some heavy showers and thunderstorms developing as well. Outside of our studios, it is partly cloudy. Temperature is 73 degrees, relative humidity 83%. Easterly winds at 12 miles per hour. The barometric pressure 1,017.7 millibars. That's 30.05 inches, and it is rising. Temperatures around the islands this morning, we're picking up some 76 in Marsh, Abaco, Greentown Key as well. Also Freeport at 76. The Berry Islands 78. Alisam Bimini 78. 76 in Harbour Island, Roxanne, Eleuthera, Artisan, Cat Island. Staniel Key at 75. Also Kemps Bay in South Andros 75 degrees. Fresh Creek, Central Andros at 76. In San Salvador and Rum Key 76 degrees. Ragged Island, Clarence Town, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, Acklands all at 76. A little warmer in Machitan, Inagua at 79. Turks and Caicos Islands at 78 degrees. And your boating forecast for today in the northwest and central islands. Easterly winds 15 to 20 knots, wave heights 4 to 7 feet over the ocean. Low tide, that will take place at 11:28 this morning. High tide at 5:38 in the afternoon for the southeast Bahamas. Southeast flow 12 to 18 knots, wave heights 3 to 6 feet. Caution flags up throughout the 700 islands. That's going to do it for your first look at weather in the morning edition. Stay tuned. Your forecast for today tonight is still ahead.
Thanks, Basil. Well, definitely a wet one shaping up. So if you're about to leave home and wondering what's happening out there on our streets, here's Vaughn Aubrey, pilot Ashley Whitney, and the traffic drone with the Bahamas First Traffic Report.
The traffic report is sponsored by Bahamas First. First in insurance. Today, tomorrow.
Good morning, Jimenita. That overhead shot you see, a shot of the Milo Butler Highway looking south. And already, as you can see, traffic is already backed up, bumper to bumper, with traffic heading into the city limits of Nassau. I am standing on the extreme left lane, and as I go down with my cameraman Lyndon Smith, I am standing on gravel. This is the extreme left lane, so there's roadworks here. Traffic in this side of the lane is flowing along, but of course this is traffic going south towards Carmichael Road, and indeed there is roadworks in this area, so if you have to use this area, please try and make it out before time so that you don't become frustrated while driving. Traffic on the extreme right side, that is showing that traffic is already bumper to bumper, and we ask you to exercise caution. Already I have seen persons still on their phones as they drive, persons still doing makeup in the car, and these are the things that the police want you not to do while you're driving. Please exercise extreme caution and care. We were expecting Corporal Decory, but of course he's not here, so continue to observe the traffic signs, and when you're using the Milo Butler Highway, please exercise extreme caution. Back to you in the studio, Jimenita.
Well, thanks, Vaughn. We now turn to our top story for the morning. It comes from the tourism sector. Now, after months of stalled negotiations, Tourism Minister the Honorable Dionisio de Aguilar announcing Tuesday that the government now has a deal with the Managers Union at the Grand Lucayan Resort on Grand Bahama. He said just over $4 million will be paid to managers at the resort who opted for voluntary separation packages. The government purchased the resort over a year ago for $65 million and accepted responsibility for paying severance for the workers. President of the Bahamas Hotel Managerial Association, Obi Ferguson, who was negotiating that is on behalf of the managers, had indicated that the parties were unable to reach an agreement on the matter. However, the tourism minister says that now has changed.
We have a deal. So there are approximately 91 managers that are included in the deal. That may alter somewhat. And we've agreed to pay them $3.7 million. They have other funds that are in an annuity that is with Family Guardian, which they will be entitled to tap into as well. So that'll take the total payout to $4.4 million. It allows these employees to go home with a lump sum and to prepare for the employment opportunities that are going to present themselves with the Carnival Port and the Royal Caribbean acquisition of the Grand Lucayan.
So some welcome news there for employees out of Grand Bahama, but now to other news. Health Minister Dr. Dwayne Sands addressing allegations surrounding the fatal shooting of an American businessman over in Bimini over the weekend. Police say the American was shot multiple times about the body shortly after 1 o'clock at his residence. The man was taken to the Bimini clinic where he later died. Now, the incident has resulted in a number of allegations on social media based on the belief that the American's life could have been saved had the Bimini clinic been more equipped to deal with the matter. The health minister had this to say about the incident, which he described as a tragedy.
There's an awful lot of speculation. We would like to obviously optimize every single health facility, not just for tourists, but also for Bahamians. Bear in mind in an archipelago that we have 98 clinics around the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And those 98 clinics, we try to standardize the care that's provided, and we have a hub and spoke model so that there's different capacity at the major facilities, and we're trying to strengthen the capacity in other hubs. Whether or not any change in equipment would have made a difference in this gentleman's outcome, I think we don't have enough information to answer that.
Well, Charles Fisher just could not get enough of Exuma. While there, he caught up with an American photographer who fell in love with the Bahamas. This is his report.
John Pesson resides in Florida but is originally from California. Her passion is the water and sailing in particular, and she has been coming to the Bahamas since 2014.
Because I'd seen photographs of the sloops and they were beautiful, and I wanted to have the opportunity to photograph, so I came. And so I've been to the Best of the Best Regatta, I've been to the Farmers Regatta, I've been to the Long Island Regatta, and I keep photographing them, trying to get better and better at it. And I've done about 8 articles now for South Winds magazine. This is a magazine out of the American South, from Carolinas to Texas. And it's distributed for free because it's supported by advertising, which is really good exposure for the Bahamas, because the editor prints about 20,000 copies every month and distributes them for free in all the marinas and so forth. So I've done about 8 cover articles.
The American calls the Bahamas her home away from home.
My love is for the Bahamas, but I'm a sailor, and I'm particularly interested in the sloops, because sloop sailing is unique in the world. Nobody does it like here, and I know because I have photographed a lot of the Olympic classes, and I've photographed about half a dozen America's Cups, and I've sailed around the world. I've sailed in the Mediterranean, I've sailed in the Pacific, I've sailed many places, and this is very special.
And as a result of the magazine and its readers, the Bahamas is becoming popular.
In the United States, people hadn't seen much about the sloops. They hadn't had a chance because not much has been published, and so people are really interested. And there's a lot of support from South Winds magazine. He's just saying, great, keep sending these articles because people really want to learn about it.
John keep up the job of showcasing the Bahamas and sloop sailing in particular to the world. For the ZNS News Network, I'm Charles Fisher.
Well, coming up after this break, reading is fundamental. Stay close. We will be back with that and more after the break.
Fidelity has the tools you need to make getting out of debt simple. Our debt consolidation loans will help you reduce your monthly payments with a built-in savings plan that earns 5% interest. Fidelity even gives you a financial coach to help you stay on track. Even our credit cards earn reward points that can be used for free travel, hotel stays, Rubis Gas, John Bull, car rentals, and shopping. No need to fall victim to sweet talk. Tell those other banks to simply walk the talk. Call Fidelity today and get the help you really need with a real debt consolidation loan. Fidelity, we're good for you.
For the next 13 on 13 television documentary series, honored as a national hero and described as a sportsman par excellence for winning the nation's first gold medal in sailing, the late Sir Derwent Knowles is our feature in the ZNS 13 on 13 television documentary series for the month of May. Join us for his story in charted course, beginning the first Sunday in the month of May and throughout. That's the story of the late Sir Derwent Knowles, coming to ZNS Television.
This is a PSA from We Buy, You Sell. The protection of your businesses, homes, and families is very important. We Buy, You Sell offers the best in hurricane impact windows and doors designed to withstand all categories of hurricanes, with prices beating our competitors by up to 50%. We also specialize in porcelain, mosaic, and plank tiles. We Buy, You Sell. Located at number 163 Robinson Road. Call 677-2856 or 324-6427. We Buy, You Sell. Come and see us today.
Explore the world of agriculture with us. Join me, your host, Carla Palmer, for continued adventures in agriculture and the marine environment as we head into Season 2 of the program, Agriculture Now. That's Agriculture Now, moving to a new date and time, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. and Saturdays at 9 a.m., right here on the ZNS Television Network.
Give you a lot of update of what's going on in your Bahama land. It is very nice. I do enjoy it every morning.
Welcome back to the morning edition. Reading is often described as the passport that will take you all around the world. Now, there are those that often enjoy reading books, but there are those that enjoy reading to others as well. And we caught up with some of them recently. Take a look. Reading corners are becoming more popular. The Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis, Prime Minister, included it as an element during his post-Easter extravaganza. Besides the Prime Minister reading to an eager group, there was a host of other celebrity readers. One of them was author of Candyland is in Trouble, Leela O'Brien, who read her book.
Kai couldn't win. Cassie got him again and again. I always like reading to other people because sometimes they give me a little bit of feedback on how to make the book better. And then also sometimes they tell me that they want to write a book too.
Leela says the book was based on the Candyland board game, but she wanted to put a twist on it.
I wanted a little bit of action in the book. So what people like candy, but what do they don't like? So that's how I got the vegetable part.
Her mom, Sharon, says reading was something Leela enjoyed.
Not necessarily something most kids like to do. So for her, it was natural. She read, as soon as she learned how to read, she was a voracious reader. So we just kept her supplied with books. We didn't have an idea at that time that she would end up doing something like this.
The Bahamas Honorary Consul to Texas, Lyndon Rose, was another reader, but he also shared the importance of reading.
Everything that you do, we want to make certain that our foundation is built on basics. So always remember, reading is fundamental.
I also had a chance to read, as did Alexia Coakley and gold medalist Ramon Miller, and Leela offered this message.
Just because you're a child doesn't mean you can't write a book, because you probably have better ideas than any of the adults who write books.
Well, we have a special guest joining us in studio this morning. She is, of course, Astra Armbruster-Rule, the Consul General to Atlanta. Welcome to the morning edition. Now, Astra is, of course, the youngest person ever deployed to such a position by the government of the Bahamas. Now, this morning, we're going to find out just what it takes to make you tick. Welcome again to the morning edition. So how do you manage all that you do?
I try to take it one day at a time. That's the best. That's the best thing I've come up with so far. But every day is a brand new day. No 2 days of work are the same thing. And so just one day at a time.
So do you feel pressured by the fact that you are one of the youngest or the youngest ambassador? Is that sense of, I have to get this done, I have to make sure that everything is done, all I's dotted, T's crossed? Oh.
There's a lot of pressure. I do want to make sure that I pave the way for someone else that is young or female or some other person that's atypical of the role. So I want to make sure that I can show to everyone that we can do it. It's traditionally a male-dominated, older male-dominated field, so I'm trying very hard to make sure that I pave the way for somebody else.
So tell us about your day-to-day function. What does that entail?
Day-to-day, there's a lot of consular work, so Bahamians who need to renew their passports, visitors to the country who want to get a Bahamian visa, Bahamians who are in distress, maybe they're just visiting the jurisdiction and something unfortunate happens. That takes up most of the day, and then the other half of the work is representational duties, so making sure that the Bahamas is recognized with state officials and other people in the jurisdiction.
Sounds like you're kept very busy, but how many staff members do you manage at the Atlanta office, and what are their responsibilities?
There are 8 of us there. There's a family of 8. 2 of us are foreign service officers, and then the other 6 are locally employed staff. So they handle the day-to-day like clerical duties, so filing and making sure that we are communicating with our prisons and the airports and that kind of thing.
So obviously you're a family woman as well, so how do you manage family life with your day-to-day duties?
We just try to be intentional. we have to, I don't want to make it seem like we schedule time to see each other, but it's almost a necessary thing to do now, so we just try to make sure that we get those special occasions. We have a son who's 2 years old, so we just try to make sure that every day we build time in for each other.
Well, that definitely sounds like a lot, but you're doing a wonderful job, Ms. Astra Armbruster-Rule. Thank you again so much for joining us on the morning edition. All the best to you and your team in Atlanta.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, we're going to find out what's coming up with sports with our Charles Fisher, who is definitely very excited.
The machinery of the government is always working to make the country better for present and future generations. But what does that machinery look like, and how does it really work? Find the answers to these questions and more as you hear directly from this administration's policymakers. Tune in to A Closer Look with Anthony Newbold, Mondays at 8 p.m. and Wednesdays at 9 a.m. on the ZNS Television Network.
What you cooking? Something good.
Welcome, Bahamas, to What You Cooking. Are you ready to shop for the What You Cooking show today?
Something good.
We're going to make a sweet potato pancake.
And you start with a breakfast that's filled with fiber, protein. Then you get those nutrients that will carry you throughout the day.
What you cooking? Something good.
It's the OT with yours truly, Charles Fisher.
Buddy Hield and the Kings have their...
Buddy Hield seems to be having the best season of his career. He had 32 points the other night. It was a bit disappointing, Shawnee Miller not winning the IAAF World Female Athlete of the Year. The high school rankings will soon be out. Tabernacle, the defending champion, CC Sweeting, they are always there. Who will it be this year? Each Monday on 1540 AM and 104.5 FM, it's the OT with yours truly, Charles Fisher.
Welcome to the best of sports world.
Everybody, I on TV. Look, I on TV. Mom, guess what it is? That's me. Fontaine, do you see me? I on television. I gotta tell my girlfriend I on television.
Hello?
Babe, turn your television to ZNS. Quick, I on television.
I don't have a TV in there.
We have Wi-Fi though.
We have Wi-Fi.
That's fine. They upgrade now. You can watch it live from your phone. You just have to download the app.
All right, hold on.
Go to the App Store, type in ZNS, download the app, and you'll be able to watch ZNS straight from your phone. Hurry up and start over again.
Get your news and more anytime, anywhere with the new ZNS app. Stay connected from around the globe with our live stream news updates, all in the palm of your hand. You can also listen to the ZNS Radio Network for your favorite music. Go into your Apple or Google Play Store and download the ZNS app today.
Miss I's a star now. I still gotta pay.
I'd like to know what happened overnight.
A different ambience of the news. It's different.
Welcome back to the morning edition. We are celebrating the mayor of Grand Key this morning. Roosevelt Rusi Curry, Chief Councilor Grand Key, has been involved in local government since its inception. Our Northern Service correspondent Jamila Mizik caught up with him and filed this report.
Prominent Grand Key businessman Roosevelt Rosie Curry is the owner of Island Bayfront Company Limited. Born and raised on the Abaco Key, the 67-year-old resident says home is where the heart is, and that is why he was always interested in developing the small town.
Growing up in Grand Key was a small fishing village. I went to school in Foxtown. That's where I got my education, and then I moved back home. I went to Grand Bahama to work in Choctaw from 1969 to 72, and then I came back home, get married, and this is where I've been ever since. I will always like being home. There's a lot of people who ask me about doing something abroad, and I said no. Home is where I wanted to plant my base, and that's what I've been doing.
The businessman says Grand Key is holding its own and the local economy is good. It's a fishing village with no major hotels or airport, but he believes once local government continues to play its role, the economy will continue to grow. The chief councilor, who's been a part of local government from its inception, says it's now time to make room for others.
I believe that I'm one of the only original since local government was formed. And I figure it's now time for me to step aside and move on. I think I've did my fair share, and it's now time for me to lift it up and have someone else to take that role. But there again, this is home. But local government has been my backbone, and I did everything that I possibly can to make it a success. And anyone who can tell you, any administrator who's been here, tell you that I have made it a success.
He says younger Grand Key residents have a role to play in the further development and overall betterment of the town, and this is through the success of local government. Jamila Mizik, ZNS Network News.
Good morning. It's that time for sports. Family, friends, and players gathering at Holy Cross Anglican Church Tuesday evening, where another Bahamian inked his name on a professional baseball contract. James Roll, better known as Big Game James, signing with the Baltimore Orioles, will now await his minor league assignment.
After 5 long years of blood, sweat, and tears, working hard and chasing my dream, I achieved my goal of becoming a professional baseball player. I would love to thank God for giving me the courage of waking up every day and working hard towards my accomplishment. Today, we are here to celebrate my success, but it wouldn't be possible at all without a few individuals that played instrumental roles in my life. So, I would like to say a special thank you to all my coaches to put in all the extra work, doing things like giving me extra work, extra ground balls, hitting, giving me baseball gear that I needed, even food, clothes, etc., etc. The list could go on for days.
On hand to make sure all the signatures were in the right place was Oriole scout Calvin Maduro, who liked what he saw.
And one thing I signed a lot of guys, but I like this fact right now that look at the support he has signing today. And this is just the beginning of his professional career. So he just started. For us in baseball, this is the easiest part. You know, as an amateur, it might be a hard part, but in professional, it's the easiest part. Because right now, everybody who signed professional is the best of that team. Like all these guys at practice, they're the best probably there is in Bahamas. So they're all gonna sign. So when he gets there, he needs to show that he's best of the best being there. And that's the only way you progress. It's in a way you're competing against the one sitting next to you, but it's a friendly competition because he's pushing you to do your best.
Exhibit Regatta all done with, and the young skippers dominated. This morning we introduce you to Claiborne Smith, who sailed on the Lady Ellen Class E. Smith coasted to a big win in the first cup race on that weekend regatta, beating veteran skippers including Leslie Buzzy Roll.
It was amazing. I was focused. When I came in second and I was moving faster than his boat, I was confident I was going to come first. This is my second time skippering, but I've been racing with them for 3 years.
And just 13 years old, Claiborne Smith is already making waves in the sport, having been sailing for more than 5 years.
Joined the sailing club when I was in grade 5 and just started from there.
Why do you like sailing so much?
Because it's fun to be on the water and I like being in the water.
Why?
I just grew up in the water, swimming.
Swimming?
I like swimming, diving, going in the boat, fishing, everything.
Now make sure to tune into the Bahamas tonight at 7 o'clock. We'll have a special feature on the young Smith. He wants to be a big ship captain one day.
The Bahamas Bureau of Standards and Quality, BBSQ, is paving the way for the development of a national quality infrastructure based on international standards and best practices to revolutionize the way we do business. BBSQ provides quality assurance systems and works with various industries to promote standardization and certify the quality of goods and services across the Bahamas. BBSQ, quality is our standard.
This public service announcement was brought to you by the Bahamas Bureau of Standards and Quality in conjunction with the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
ZNS is very informative to me. It keeps you up to date on what's going on in the Bahamas, and you get to hear it firsthand early in the morning.
In our final look at weather, that mid to upper level trough over the southeast Bahamas will begin tracking back towards the north, and that will increase our rain and shower chance during the course of the day, with some heavy showers and thunderstorms developing as well. The forecast for today called for breezy conditions with periods of showers and thunderstorms, high temperature getting up to 84 degrees. Tonight we're looking at mostly cloudy with showers and thunderstorms continuing, particularly during the late night and early morning hours, low temperature around 74 degrees. And the extended weather forecast is going to be pretty wet right through Thursday, but things starting to dry out Friday afternoon. Heading into the weekend, things are looking pretty good with lots of sunshine on Saturday and Sunday. Manita?
Well, thanks, Basil. That's going to do it for all of us here. Even though it's a wet day, make it an awesome day.
It's gonna be a Goombay song, singing the noonday song. Listen